So I'll stick this down, and anybody who's done my Bodden Gardens tutorial, it's a similar set out really, isn't it? It's a similar composition. If you stick to the tried and tested things, you normally work out better. Right, so what I'm going to do now is check out my reference. I'm going to pick out now some of these flowers and the acer leaves and you know, these yellow poppies that are kind of standing out in the sunshine. I'm just going to pick them out with masking fluid, and then we don't have to worry about painting over them. You know, we can be nice and free. So this is the masking fluid I use. I've got a big bottle, as you can see, but you can buy it in smaller bottles. You've got to be very careful with this stuff. Use a really old brush, or you can use a cocktail stick or any kind of implement to put it on with. Alright, so I'll just get myself prepared and we'll crack on with the masking. Right, so I'm just going to use this old brush. It's been used before. Like I've said many times, you don't need to use a decent brush. This is all coagulated with masking fluid. Just wet it, using it like a stick really. And then just pick out some of these shapes that we've drawn. And imagine that these, when we take it off at the end, because we can paint over them, when we take it off at the end, you're going to see flower shapes that we can just colour in. You don't have to be too accurate. Don't try and get them exact. You can do one or two as near as damn it, but you know, being too exact really is the death of a watercolour. Obviously you can do paintings that are exact, but this isn't what we're after. Not in this exercise anyway. Do the odd flick as well, you know, for foliage that's just catching the sun. And they're all a particular shape if it's the same flower, obviously. And once you get used to that shape, you can just kind of add it at random then yourself. You know, one flower's shape is different to another flower's shape. But then, you know, the yellow poppies, they're popping, they're literally all over the garden. So I'm just going to put some random shapes that I can fill with colour at the end. And this, remember we drew this daisy quite detailed, because I want these to show at the end. And this foliage here, I've gone into quite a lot of detail, but I don't think I'll bother masking that out. I can leave that. But these daisies, oops, just be careful of the water running off your brush. I keep wetting it just so that it doesn't dry too quickly. So at this stage I haven't got the benefit of that, you know, the coarse picture that you can see. Now, I didn't mention before, but I've got a piece of clean paper over the drawing there, you know, so while you're working you're not smudging your drawing or getting marks on it. So that's just a tip. Now this little gnome here, it's in full sun. It's got a shadow on the back edge, of course, but basically it will stand out quite a lot, so I'm going to be quite careful with that and just cover the whole thing, and then again when I take it off at the end, I can then, he's got a flower in front of him as well there, just covering him up there, so mask that as well, and that'll just look like a strange shape. When this masking flap comes off, it'll just look like an odd shape, and then we'll fill in the details later. You can see the front of his wheelbarrow there, and then the rest of it's in shadow, so I won't bother masking that. And then around him there's a nice big bunch of flowers with lovely pink flowers, so I'll dot a few of them in, but this is in full sun, so most of them will be painted in, but there's a few flowers overhanging the lawn here. The bottom edge of that bird table's in full sun, and just that area there. So these are just little things that make the picture. Again, you've got the benefit of being able to see them. Got some nice yellow flowers around there. I'm actually putting more blooms than there was at the time, because you know, you're making a picture that shows the garden off at its best, so you're kind of just exaggerating what you've seen. Do a few more of these while we're at it. You can take as long as you like over this, you really can. We'll get the textures later. So let's just have a look at this. Now this, oops, this archway, you can literally only see the sun shining on it. Kind of very thin line, so I'll just go over it just like that, and that's all we'll do. It's as simple as that. We're not going to go into try and get some detail, there's no point. Some of this foliage here hangs over, because this dark area will make all this look white, you see. So where that foliage joins it, I'm just going to emphasize it. And then further along this border, we've got irises. I think they're irises. And some of the leaves are just catching the sun. Some aren't, but some are. And they're nice yellow again. So, iris shape. It's like 3 petals, isn't it? So we mentioned about these poppies here showing, didn't we? And the anti-ailing plant, I think I'll just go over a few of them because they're such a nice colour. Even though they are in shadow, but they're just catching the sun because of the height of them. And then this centrepiece here, Again, it's mainly yellow, and we will over this. I'll put more flowers on this than there actually were, because it might as well be an eye popper, mightn't it? And little highlights that'll make the wheelbarrow. We've got a little highlight there, and on the front of the wheel there, and on that front edge of the wheelbarrow, and on the handle. The rest of it's quite dark. And of course, all these flowers are in shadow. And we come up to the acer tree, where we want now to use those shapes that we've drawn in. We want to catch the ones that are catching the light. Not many of them actually catch the full light looking at it, but where they do, it's quite an important part of the picture, because this is quite a dark area of the picture, and by doing this we'll just get a little bit of relief. Time to clean my brush again, I think. Just to clean it, by the way, I just literally run my fingernail along it just to get the excess off. And back to it. This plant here, I'm going to give the full treatment to on masking, because it kind of describes what all the other plants are. Same with these star shapes. The dianthus, not quite sure of my plant names, I've got to say. But if we go quite detailed on these, again, because we're near the front of the picture, we can afford to do a little bit more. But you know, you can see I'm putting my masking fluid on basically with a stick, and it stops you messing too much. We're just after the rhythm of the flower, not. Let's put another one in there. And then the ubiquitous poppies, which are everywhere. What I'm doing now is looking with my eyes squinted, just trying to imagine the sun. Right, now then, let's not forget we've got a little statue there. Just put a shape in. And this little fella here, again, just put the shape. It's only the top of his head that catches the sun, but the form of his body in shadow wants to be quite hard. We've got some foliage, we can just have that catching the sun as well, I think. And then literally you can just go around putting some masking, because a garden isn't perfect, is it? I wonder whether I'll just clean my brush again. And we've got this fella here, haven't we? Let's just totally cover him, and then we can go daft round here, you know, getting some nice really dark colours without, because I want him to just be catching the sun. I don't want it too obvious, obviously, but it'll give us the option rather than painting over it and then thinking I wish I'd left him light. Gives you the option. I think I'll just do a few of these chives because they're so nice. I want them to look quite dominant. And some more. Let's put some flowers on these pots. Can be any colour we choose. Some grasses, because don't forget, when we paint the green of the grass, the lawn, we don't want to cover the flowers, so let's get some more flowers in here, I think. Do you see how random I'm trying to be? Right, I think that's the masking done. Quite a lot out of it actually, isn't there? That should help us out quite nicely. Actually, I've just noticed we'll just do a few more of them. Right, I think that's it now, so I'm going to let that dry